So I'm going to start with pencil just in case I want to change my mind about something. It'll be easy to erase. And I'll try to get both of these on the screen here for you. You can see that a rhinoceros is a whole lot longer than it is tall. So I'm going to have my paper going sideways. And we're going to start with the most recognizable feature of a rhinoceros, the horn. So I've just got a curved line on the bottom, curved line on the top for that great big one in front. Not going straight up, is it? It's kind of leaning forward. Oh, there's Mickey. Let's let her in. So you can try lots of times. You can just draw over the same one. You go, you know what? I think I wanted that tilting more forward. So then you can come back and just erase whatever one you don't want. That's why we draw lightly, loosely, so we can erase without a problem. Hi. Hi, Mickey. Next, we're going to do this other little horn that's curving in the opposite direction. So I'm going to curve a little bit like a frowning line, curving that way. This horn's a lot shorter. Remember, you can sketch lots of times and just erase the ones that you don't want to keep. And let's go ahead and work on this rhinoceros mouth. We've got some straighter lines happening here, but one is short and then one is long, a little bit like a check mark. So I do one short line first, and then a longer line. You can even turn your paper sideways and you can see that backwards check mark a little bit easier. Then there's a tiny little bump for the lip. Just the teeniest, tiniest little curve. No big deal. Then we've got the lower jaw, same kind of check mark thing, isn't it? Where we've got a short section and then we have this long section. So let's start with that short one. Then we're going to draw diagonally up. How far do we go? We kind of don't know. We know that it goes past that little horn. So on my little horn, I know it's going past that, but we're just gonna give it our best guess and we'll change it later if we need to. On the top of the head, what do we see? We've got a little zigzag going here. We have a little tiny straight line, and then a little bit of a diagonal, and then another little change right there. So let's take it 1, 2, 3. 1. Then we need to go up a little bit. 2. And then right before the ears, we have one more little diagonal. 3. Then both of the ears are kind of overlapping and on top of one another. So we've got kind of a crazy shape here, but let's take it one at a time. We've got a nice big curve like a backwards C. How big should you draw it? Try to compare. Does it look bigger than that horn? No, maybe it's a little smaller, or maybe my horn needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm gonna look at things all the time, compare sizes, compare positions. And we've got a little tiny straight line on the back. Ooh. And here's just the tip of the other ear. It looks a little bit like a shark fin swimming through the ocean. Or the top of an ocean wave. It's a little bit curvy. Then let's back it up a little bit so we can work on the rest of it here. Rhinoceros needs a big, strong neck. Well, I'm gonna wait for my camera to focus here. Needs a big, strong neck to keep up this big horn and heavy head. So we've got 2 bumps on the neck, or one's the neck and one's the shoulder. So let's just do this first bump right here for the neck. Again, I'm just gonna give it my best guess. Drawing lightly in case I need to change it later. My computer is telling me that my internet is unstable. If I disappear, please stick around. I'll start the class again and then I'll just let you back in. So then we've got a second bump for the shoulder. Someone else will be the host.
Someone else.
Oh, no.
Someone else needs to be the host?
We'll wait.
Yeah, just like in our class one, this one got kicked out or left the meeting or go in the breakout room. Laylee will be the host.
Oh, I see, like a backup host.
I hate when that happens.
Yep, hopefully we'll be back in real life soon. After we have those 2 bumps on top, we're gonna jump down to the bottom and there's this thick flap of skin that hangs down. And it's almost right under the ears here. If I drew a line straight down from the ears, that's where this neck flap is. So I'm gonna go from the back of this ear here. You don't have to actually draw the line, just hover your pencil going down, 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 and that'll tell you where to draw this little flap of skin. If your jawline isn't that long, let's say it was only this long. Don't change it. Don't make your line go over here to try to connect it. Still go straight down, and then you can just connect up your shape that way. From there, we're going to make the big body line. We're going to ignore the leg for a second, and we're just going to make a great big curve for the body. So I'm going to get my whole paper on camera here so you can see. From here, we're going to do a big curve. Notice I'm not doing this. I'm not doing lots of little scritchy lines to try to get across. I'm taking my whole arm off the table so I can do real big curves. Big smile. Then we just come back with our eraser, erase what we don't like. We're going to do it lightly just in case we have to change something later. And now we're going to work on this front leg. We drew this shoulder bump up here, and if we go from that bump down, we'll get to the back of the leg here. So that's what I'm going to do on mine. You don't have to draw this line, but I'm just going to show you that after I come down off that bump, that'll give me the back of the leg. And we're gonna have very short legs. We're not drawing a horse or a deer that has nice, long, elegant legs. These are short, compact legs. And for the front of the leg, it's important to notice that it's not going straight up and down, is it? It's lean a little bit. It's a little bit diagonal. So for the front, I'm going to come right off of the body here, diagonal. And connect down to those little rhinoceros toes. I'll zoom in on that one. That's a little more difficult than the back. Whoops, got to focus again.
3, 2, 1.
So I've got a curve, straight, and then toes. All right, let's draw those back legs. First thing we're going to check on our drawing is that the feet are all on the same line. We don't want one short leg and one.
The back leg.
You are done already? Excellent. You can always just go for it and try. But I'm going to make sure that my legs are on the same line, so I'll give myself a very light guideline. If you can't draw a straight line without a ruler, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just do your best. And instead of trying to draw the back leg, I want you to look for a minute at this white shape that's inside, that's cut out from underneath the belly. That's the shape we're going to try to mimic. So I already have this side, right? And I have the big curve. So now I want to try to make this curve lightly. So I can double check if this point is high and this point is low, because that's what I see over here. This one is high on the paper, this one's low on the paper.
3, 2, 1.
As soon as I know that's true, I'm going to come back in here and look at all these little bumps and curves that make up this rhinoceros leg. So we've got some muscle here on that curve. We have a knee, and then we have a reverse curve for the toes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different bumps to do. Let's start at the top here and make this little muscle bump. That's the first one. Then we've got another bump for the kneecap. That's 2. The next one goes in the opposite direction. That's 3. And then the last one is a curve for the toes. That's 4. So that's a lot of different curves, and at the end of it you might go, oh no, my rhinoceros toes are too big or too small, or the kneecap's too high. This is where we change it first and erase later. So maybe I decide, oh, my toes are too big, they need to be flatter like those. I'm going to draw my new lines first. Don't erase, let's draw the new lines first so I know what I want. Then I'll come back and erase. Then I can connect up my curves again. Maybe I want this bump a little lower for the knee. I'm going to draw the new one first. Then come back and erase the ones I don't want to keep. Oops. I'm going to take a quick jump to the back up to the top here. Let's see, we're going to put this so we can see both. Maybe over here. So we've got a little dip. This curve up here is so much shorter than the big belly curve. So even though I had a really big curve down here, up here I'm going to shorten it. If it's easier for you, you can also take the diagonal line of that back leg and just keep it going, keep it going. That'll tell you about where to stop your curve. So that's another trick you can use. Then on most four-legged animals, you're going to have a flatter rump here. So let's go a little straighter on the top. If you're running out of paper at this point, no problem. Just go straight off the paper. I'm sure we've all taken photos where we can only see part of somebody's body or part of a cat's head, and it's no big deal. But if you shrink a part of your drawing to make it fit on the paper, it starts looking a little funny. So now we've got this diagonal portion right here. And we're going to ignore the tail for right now and see that it just comes back the other way, a little pointy in the back. How do I know where to end this line? If you want to, you can go from the bottom of your kneecap and join that up, and that's about where your line ends. And for the back of the leg, we have this great big calf muscle. So another point, and we want to make this leg short and thick and strong. So I'm going to come over here and make the back of that leg. Come right on down. So now we've got the whole thing drawn except for the tail. I'm going to pause here a moment, and you can just take a look at your rhinoceros, take a look at the demonstration picture, see if there's any differences that bother you, something that you want to change on your drawing, because now would be the time before we go to ink. Take a look and say, does my rhinoceros look a little too skinny? Maybe a little too chubby? Maybe the leg is too far forward. Remember, you just want to draw your new lines first and then erase the ones you don't want. I don't know why, but there's something about the human brain that we make the same mistake over and over if we have to start from the beginning. If I'm going to a new place, like a new friend's house, and I take a wrong turn the first time, you can bet I'm going to make that wrong turn the second time I go to that person's house. There's something about learning new things, making these new brain pathways. You'll tend to repeat the same mistake. So we want to make sure to draw the new one first and then erase the old. Now we're going to add that tail. This tail is hanging straight down, isn't it? Not blowing in the wind or anything. We're just going to come right off the back. It's a little short tail. And then there's that little tassel of long hairs at the end to swat the flies away. If your rhinoceros has a nice shampoo, you can make it a little curlier, a little more flowy. If you want it simple, you can just think of a leaf type shape and end it in a point. That's up to you. Art is great in that there's lots of right answers. Once you like your rhinoceros, we're going to get our felt tip marker and outline it. Some tips for outlining. A lot of you have heard these before, but we're going to spin our paper to where it's the most comfortable. I'm right-handed, so anytime I have to do a curve, I like to have it on my left side so that it's easy to see and my hand isn't blocking it. If you're a lefty, you're probably going to want to do the opposite. You'll probably want to put it this way so that you can do your curves and see it easily. Notice I'm not trying to do the whole thing in one swoop. I'm just going line by line, turning my paper as I go. Almost like when you're cutting something out with scissors, it's easier if you spin the paper around instead of keeping it in one spot and take your scissors all the way around and you got to move your arm in weird places. Just spin that paper. Try to keep a light grip on your brush or on your marker. Don't clamp down real hard because then your lines will get stiff. Feather touch, just dragging that pen so lightly. You don't have to go as fast as me. I just want to show you what it looks like. So we're going to get to there, outlining our rhinoceros. Make sure your ink lines are dry before you try erasing the rest of the pencil. So many times I have smeared my drawing because I was too impatient and started erasing too fast. And remember that the lower half of our rhinoceros is going to be colored in black anyway. So even if you make a little mistake, let's say you were inking on the legs and you went, whoops, don't worry about it. That's going to be all colored in black anyway. So you can just make the line where it's supposed to be. We're going to pause here just one more minute. If you're already done, you can start filling in the legs, fill it in black. All right, you can do this next part in pencil if you want to be able to erase it, or if you're just going to go with it and be brave, you can use pen. We're just going to divide our rhinoceros between the black and the not black. So you can see it starts right underneath the horn and goes pretty much straight across all the way over to the tail. That's what I'll do too. I'm going to start right underneath the horn and make somewhat of a straight line all the way across to the tail. Everything below this line is going to be black. So anytime you're waiting for the next instruction from me, just come down here and start working on filling it in black on your own time. So let's take a look at some of this interesting stuff going on above the ground line. We've got a beautiful gazelle that we're going to draw. Again, you can start with pencil if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and get an ink pen and just do it in pen. Let's see, where can I get both of these on the paper? I'm going to zoom in here. So right below the curve of the back, we're going to start drawing this gazelle. I'm going to start with a little bit of a raindrop shape sideways. A little pointier on one end, a little rounder on the other. Maybe you can see it here where I'm going for. A little rounder on the back, a little pointier in the front. And the back legs are going to come right off the back here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a curve. I'll just fill it in black since they're so tiny. And then we'll go down right into the black, a little thicker at the top, a little thinner as it goes down into the ground. You can just cross this line because this is going to be all black anyway. And I'll do the same thing for this other back leg. We're going to start with a little curve to the back. And then we'll go to the front, making it a little thicker at the top, a little thinner at the bottom. The front legs are super easy. We're just going to go down like an icicle. And we'll fill that in black. In this picture, the two front legs are so close together, you almost can't see both of them, but if you want to separate them out, you can do that too. Just draw another icicle. And we'll fill it in black. We'll fill in the body black. And then we'll start putting on a neck. So I've got a longer line in the back and a little bit of a check mark in front where it goes down and then a short line. And we'll fill that in. The head is going to be another raindrop type shape. You can see it's thicker and rounder in the back and a little pointier at the nose. So I'm going to stick that pretty close to the top of the neck here. Put my raindrop on right like that. And fill it in. I'm going to try to make the back of the head and the back of the neck smooth. You can make the nose a little rounder if you want it to be a little cuter. And put on some little ears, just tiny little bumps. I'm going to see the tips there. And then those great big horns coming off the head and to the back. I think I put a little too much diagonal on my antelope's body. I can see in the demonstration piece it's a little flatter, so I'm just going to color this in a little bit more, flatten it out. Maybe add a little bump for the tail. And there's our lovely gazelle. Next, we're going to put in these mountain shapes. Just easy little pointed shapes, but there is a little bit of overlapping going on. So we're going to start over on this end and make the side of that mountain there, and then we'll go all the way across. So over here by the tail, I'm going to make the side of one mountain. Diagonal line. The next one is going to still be kind of small. The next one I'm going to draw right through my gazelle. Right through. We can do that because it's colored in black. And then one more mountain. After you draw your mountains, we're going to start drawing these trees, and they look a little bit more like African trees if you draw them more sideways, kind of diamondy. Most of the time we draw trees like, let me get some scrap paper. We either draw trees like Christmas trees where they're tall and pointy, right? Or we'll draw them big and fluffy with a trunk. But these kinds of trees, they're very wide and skinny with their leaves. So we're going to be drawing shapes that are wide and skinny, going back and forth that way. So we'll just think about that while we're drawing our trees. But first, let's draw the trunks. So over here, I'm going to draw a trunk coming straight out of the ground. A little bit thicker where it goes down into the ground, a little thinner as it goes to the top. Even the branches growing, I'm going to think of them going off to the side, not so much up and down, but off to the side. And you can draw as many or as few of these as you like. And for the leaves, like I mentioned before, I'm going to go sideways, make little marks going sideways. And you can go right over the top of the lines of your mountains, that's okay. Skinny shapes going sideways. And I'm going to practice again on this next tree. Trunk first. Some branches going sideways. And then very flat, skinny shapes going side to side. I'm going to practice again one more time over on this mountain. And your trunks don't have to go straight up and down. They can lean a little bit if you want to. Maybe they got blown around by the wind as they were growing up. Same exact thing, gonna draw those sideways lines. Make flat, pointy shapes. And then next we'll draw this sun, and I'm going to switch back to pencil for a moment, and I'm going to draw a dot right behind the head of my gazelle there, my antelope. And this dot is going to be the center of the sun, so I'm going to try to draw a circle all the way around this dot very lightly like a bullseye. And it's gonna take some tries. I'm not gonna get it right and perfect on the first try, so I'm gonna make lots of lines, try to make the best target with a bullseye right in the middle as I can. Lightly, because we're gonna erase this later. But once I have a pretty good shape, then I'm just going to erase the pencil lines that don't matter, like the ones that go outside of the rhinoceros, the ones that go behind the mountain. I can get rid of those now, and I'll be left with those curves. The reason I need this dot in the center of the sun is that all the rays of the sun are going to come from this dot. So I'm just going to lightly start sketching out from that dot all the rays of light. If you want to grab a ruler and do this, that's fine too. I'm going to draw them all the way out to the edge of the rhinoceros. Same thing on this side from my dot. You can go in any direction, but it has to start from that dot. You can draw as many or as few rays of sunlight as you want to. After you're done, you just erase out the center of the sun. You can ink these lines solid if you want, or a little easier, I think, is to do a little line, and then when you get tired and you think you're gonna wobble, you go dot, dot, dot. And then you try your line again and put a couple more dots. So that's a little bit of a broken up line. And I try to put these dots in different spots. So I don't want all my dots to be in the middle. I want them to be spread out and sprinkled around in different places. Don't forget, if there's any rays that cross into your rhinoceros horn, we need to get those too. Don't leave those out. Also remember to turn your paper, find where it's most comfortable. I'll pause right there for a minute while you're working on your sunbeams. If you're already done with your sunbeams, remember to come back down and start filling in that black.
I am already done.
Amazing. Make sure to put your name on it and the date. Today is June 2nd. Make sure those sunbeams are dry before you erase out your pencil.
You can. I took out a picture. You can.
You can ink the curved lines of the sun if you want to, or you can do it like mine and not ink it, and the space left there kind of just looks like a circle by itself. And we just have about 5 more minutes together, so I'm going to let you fill in that black. Maybe work on your trees if you need to work on your trees or your sunbeams. Did you want to share right now, Fusi?
Yes. There's 2 people.
Absolutely. Go ahead and hold up your drawings. I'll put you on spotlight. Whoa, look at that purple sky too. Beautiful. Ooh, another pretty one. Excellent job. I see Hudika's hand up.
Can I share mine?
Absolutely. Let me put you on spotlight. Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Super good.
That's cute.
It does look cute. Excellent work. If anybody else is ready to share, I'll go ahead and spotlight you. And if you've already shared, you're excused. Unless you want to stick around and see everybody else's work. Callista looks like she's done. Wow, you guys are fast today. Oh, just a little bit of black at the bottom, but otherwise looking great. I love that gazelle. Oh, and you put clouds in the sky.
I like that.
Nice work. Ooh, another great gazelle. Lovely.
Wait, I know about Callista's mom. Callista's mom is a teacher, a 2nd grader teacher.
Ah.
I'm in her class.
Oh, and you're in her class? Let's see. Kristen, did you want to share now, or are you going to work on it a little bit more? You're muted if you're saying things, by the way. But I see you shaking your head. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's replace spotlight. Ooh, just need some sunbeams and some black. That's a nice silhouette right there. And then Mickey, did you want to share anything?
Kind of slow.
No,
today.
sorry.
No worries. Cool. Well, everybody shared, so you are welcome to end class if you need to go a few minutes early. I'm going to hang out until 5 o'clock. If you have any questions or need me to demonstrate anything again, I will be happy to do so. Otherwise, enjoy the music and your last 8 minutes of drawing time. Ooh, I got a heart from Fusi. Thank you. let's take a look at the mountains. If some of you want to do all of this dotting, the stippling,
Yes.
that would be kind of cool. Let's go in and do that. One thing I'm going to mark out in pencil is this very slight white outline on the mountains. And just to remind myself not to put any dots over there, I'm going to take my pencil and just give myself a guideline. So that my mountain keeps that white outline there. Then you grab your ink pen. And I'm going to do a series of dots right on that line. Whoa, this is tiny. That's gonna take forever. Let's get a bigger one. There we go, number 8. I'm gonna do dots all along that line. And I'll just keep going in rows. Like a little stamping machine. Don't grip your pen tight. Otherwise your hand will get super, super cramped. You want it to be easily lifted out of your grasp, holding it very, very lightly and just letting the weight of your arm kind of put those dots in there.
Got it. That's the color that we need. Yes. Oh.
To get them darker on one side, you're just going to put another layer of dots. So like right here where I want it extra dark, I'm going to put extra dots.
Green, green. Put it on here.
And you can see it's getting a little bit darker in this corner than it is over here, just from having more dots. If you're like, oh dear, I don't want to do that many dots. I'm not that dedicated. I want to do something else. There's another way where if you have your mountain and you have your outline, we've done lines before on the mountains. You can also do that instead to give them a little bit of shading. That's another method you can do. So you can do millions of dots or lines. That's up to you. Remember to get part of these mountains darker. I just have to give it another layer of dots.
Yep. It's pink. This right over here. This. You can go faster, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna wait on you. You don't need to. You can just go fast. Hey. A green over here. You forgot. So I was waiting on you. Look at the pink. Tie that metal, Lilia. Cut. So, or else this will be not equal at all. I need to be like this. It's okay. We could put another green over here to make it look equal. 还是这一点很重。Hey. Okay. I mean not that. Purple. Purple right here. Right? Yeah.
Purple's one of my favorite colors.
It's not equal anymore. That's okay. Yeah, I know. Let's put it here. Oh no. 这个还是开始动。哦，这个已经被锯好了，它们一起变成 equal still. So when hey, okay.
A little preview for next time. We're gonna do kangaroo.
Oh, fun!
Oh my god, I love it.
Right? That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be next Wednesday. So I filled up my mountain with dots. I'm just adding more to one side. Just 2 more minutes together. Or you can say your goodbyes now.
Go.
After all my dots are in, I'm gonna come back and erase. Oops. Oh no, this is a silly pen. Come back and erase my pencil lines. I think it's my paper. My paper's got like a slick coating on it, so a lot of pen smear on it. Don't forget to send in your artwork so that we can add it to our student art show. Last day to submit is June 27th. Seems like a long time away, but it will be upon us in no time. One more minute.
To share your.
What do you have to share? It was your birthday? When?
Wait, no. A long time ago, when it was my birthday, then we had those slap bracelets.
Oh, that's where you got your slap bracelet from. Cool. Thank you guys so much for drawing with me today. Oh, did I hear something else?
Oh yeah, I said, oh, I had a slap bracelet.
Right, those were fun when I was a kid. I don't know, there's something just about slapping it on. It's pretty fun. But thank you guys for drawing with me. Hope you'll come back next Wednesday when we draw our kangaroo. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.